great win for us, bouncing back from a disappointing loss over the weekend. Really proud of how we responded in the second half. We got great ball movement, great player movement. We got out in transition. We were able to score, and we closed the game the way we needed to close the game. So something that we've been working on, and really proud of the whole team for how we responded. So I'll let you ask these guys questions, and then you can ask me anything you want.
Jahari and Quinn, this is the second time in I think 3 or 4 games you guys have been able to rally from a double-digit deficit in the second half. Just what was really the key to doing that tonight?
Just staying together. When times get rough, don't break apart. Just stay together as a team.
Quinn, it felt like you were a pretty big spark plug today off the bench. Just what's your mindset, coming into the game a little bit later than?
It doesn't matter when I go in. Just try and do my role. Try and keep getting better defensively, and then just hit open shots on offense.
For either of you, what did you think of all the foul shots that Eastern Michigan was getting?
I mean, we can't really control what the refs are, what they're going to call. We just got to play through it, and I felt like we played pretty well through those foul calls. We got some foul calls our way at the end, so overall you can't really control it.
Jahari, the last 10 minutes, you guys seem to kick it into another gear. What was the difference?
Just focusing on defense. We know that we can play on the offensive side, but we have to lock in on defense, get stops, and I think that's what changed. Stops and rebounds, that's what Coach says.
Anything else?
You guys haven't lost back-to-back games all season. I mean, how big has that been for you guys to not let adversity carry over to multiple games?
Just making when we bounce back, we just gotta just forget about that loss. Like coaches in the past always said, to have a 1-0 mentality, and how you respond to a loss is really what shows what kind of team you are. So being able to bounce back from loss has been big for us. Just not falling too far behind and not stacking losses. Just always making sure to get back in the win column. So.
All right, guys. Good job. Jahari, well done. All right, Quinn.
All right, Coach.
Coach, you talked about needing to close out the games better after Southern missed. What did you feel was better today?
Well, I mean, at the end of the game, we got a big rebound. Rob Whaley came up with a huge defensive rebound when we needed one. We executed. We didn't turn the ball over late. We took care of the basketball. We got shots on the rim. We got to the free throw line. We did the things you need to do to win close games. So, we've spent the last couple of days here working on all late game situations, how to what we need to do, how to make sure we're handling those things properly. We handled traps late in the game. They tried to trap. We didn't turn the ball over. Everybody knew how many timeouts we had. Everybody knew where to cut, when to cut, how to be strong with the basketball. All the things that we had worked on were carried over into the game. So, and then you need to get a couple stops, and we were able to fly around and get a couple. And Rob, who Rob had been playing very well prior to getting hurt. He didn't play great tonight, but he came up with a big rebound for us when we needed to late.
Coach talking about rebounds. At one point, you guys...
Yeah, it was 21-6.
It was 28-10.
28-10, yeah.
And you guys closed it there at the end. How much was that a point of emphasis down the stretch? And how much was that really the reason this team was able to come back and get...
I mean, it was a point of emphasis at halftime. The rebounding differential and the points in the paint differential. And the points in the paint were still huge in terms of the differential, but we got to the free throw line. We outscored them from the free throw line by 21, so that closes that gap, there. But that was a huge point of, at halftime, we have the nation's leading rebounder, and our team had 6 rebounds at halftime total. So we just weren't competing on that end of on the glass. We just weren't competing on the glass. We weren't competing in the paint, and that's one of our strengths all year long. So it was brought up as like if we expect to win the game, we're going to have to make huge changes here in the second half, and we did because the gap was a lot closer. The final we got out rebounded by 5, and we were down 15 at halftime, so we out rebounded them by 10 in the second half. We did a much better job in the second half.
To come back and win a game like this, how much can this help weeks down the line.
Yeah, I hope all this stuff helps. I hope the losses help. I hope the wins help. I hope how you lose helps. I hope how you win helps. I hope all of those things help. When you play the conference that we play in and the teams that we play, you get all sorts of different experiences throughout the year, the non-conference as well, including the most recent game. And you just want to learn from each one, whether you win or lose, and then utilize those things to be playing, the best that you can play and the most together as a team you can play, at the end of the season. So I think these things, because again, you don't 100% know how it's going to go when, you're not stopping anyone at halftime. You're not rebounding the way we're supposed to be doing it. And we didn't start out the second half great. And then Morgan got his fourth foul early in the second half. Rico picked up his third foul early in the second half. So all of those things, you're trying to say, okay, how do we respond to all this stuff? And I thought we responded really, really well. So you take that and you put it in, your memory bank, and as you move forward in the year, there's going to be times that you have to look back at this one or whatever one to improve upon and find ways to win, in February and March.
Just the mentality of your team now through 25 games to you've not had a losing streak this year. Just be able to bounce back.
Don't jinx us with that one.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring that up. I have not brought that up to our guys, but you know what? That's a good thing. We've been able to respond to adversity, which is good. Now we have to be able to respond to in-game. Today we responded to in-game adversity, which is good. We've done that a few times too. And then the next step for us is closing games out, and or if we get a big lead, not letting it evaporate so quickly. So those are two things, over the last, now we have 6 regular season games. There's going to be a game in those 6 that we get up 11 early in the second half. Well, not letting that 11-point lead become, tied. Tonight we had to execute some things late that we had not done great. Well, tonight we did it great. So now we have to be able to continue to do that, and hopefully we have confidence in what we did and now be able to continue to do that moving forward.
Both games against Eastern Michigan were really a dogfight to win.
Yeah.
I don't think their record shows how good they are. What do you think they do well?
Well, they're competitive. They've got, they've had a number of injuries. They had during the season, they lost one of their main players. So they have been in a ton of games. They had, after our game, they had a couple guys get hurt in our game. The next game, they got blown out against Central Michigan. But after that, they had the lead against Akron at home. They had the lead at UMass with a few minutes to go. Appalachian State is a really good team in the Sun Belt. They were, blow to blow with them just like they were with us. I think Coach Heath is doing an unbelievable job keeping these guys together because they've had a ton of injuries, and they lost their second leading scorer midway through the year. And it is not easy to keep guys going when things aren't going well. And, they had a chance to win tonight. There's probably a play or two that they'll look back and say if we made one or two of these plays, the outcome would have been different. And I think that's a credit to what he's doing there with those guys and their players. Like, they have good players who, have to this point really competed hard every night. So give them credit for that and give him and his coaching staff, in my mind, a lot of credit for keeping them together because I don't think that's easy to do.
Okay.
All right, awesome, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.